Hello guys, welcome to a new episode of Sugi's Gardening. So in this episode I'm just going to introduce one of my Anthurium to you, and this is one of the beautiful tropical plant, and we can grow this plant indoors. So what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to repot this plant and also propagate this plant into two different new plants. So before going into the procedure, I just like to share something about this plant. So I got this plant at a cheaper rate of about $2.45, and you will not get any Anthurium plant in America for this lower rate. So the reason why I got this plant was when I got this plant in the shop, the plant was actually dying, and it had some yellow leaves, some fungal infection, and also some one or two dried flowers. So since it is summer and I thought I can save this plant and I can make this plant rebloom. So I got this plant, and actually it works out for me. I sprayed some apple cider vinegar and cinnamon powder to control fungal infections, and also I started watering it regularly and keep it in my patio where I get enough bright light, and it actually worked out. So I could get a new leaf. So this is a new leaf I got after I have got this plant from the shop, and it is about like 2 to 3 weeks old. So today I'm going to repot this plant in two different containers, one in a self-watering container and another in an aquaponics aquarium, which is at the back of me. So I'm just going to repot this one of the plant in this aquaponics aquarium. So in this aquaponics aquarium, I have got some two goldfish, and I also have planted some pothos, some rooted pothos. If you see, this is the rooted pothos, and so I'm going to plant one of this Anthurium plant also in this aquaponics planter together with the pothos plant. So the other plant I'm just going to plant in this in a self-watering container like this. So this is a self-watering container where I'm going to repot this plant. I'll just show you the container. So this container have a cube like this. If you see, this is a cube. So where it has a planter with a terracotta base. If you see, this is a terracotta base. So this terracotta base absorbs water and helps us in self-watering the plant. And if you see, we have to fill the cube, outer cube with water, and we have to pot this plant in this planter. Also, they have given some glow pebbles which glows in the dark in order to decorate the outer cube. So now let us repot this Anthurium plant and also propagate this plant into two different plants. So first I am going to plant this Anthurium in the self-watering planter. So I am just going to remove it. Before removing, I just want to add some water so that our plant comes out of the pot easily. So I'm just going to remove, so it's coming easily. So now just remove this, all the soil. So why I'm removing all the soil is, one plant we are going to plant it in a aquaponics planter where we don't use any potting mix or potting soil. So the other plant we are going to repot in a smaller container than this. So I just removing all the potting mix. So see how well the roots are formed. So the roots are really healthy. So we can surely make our plant rebloom since it's a summer. So just remove it nicely. So see to it your roots are not damaged while removing. So if you see this Anthurium, these two stem parts have been connected together with the help of one root. So this is the reason why I'm going to propagate this plant into two. So I'm just seeing where it has been united and going to cut these root into two halves. So I'm not going to cut all the roots, just want to see where it is united. So this has been united here. So I'm just going to cut the smaller plant over here. So take a clean cutter and just cut it here. Yeah, so if you see, now we have two different anthurium with two different stems and two different sets of roots. So now let us decide which plant we can plant in this aquarium, and we can plant in our self-watering container. So I really feel that this self-watering planter is very small. So I'm thinking of planting this small plant in this self-watering container and bigger plant in my aquarium. So now I'm just going to cut or trim the roots. So if you cut or trim the roots, it actually will stimulate new growth. So I'm just going to cut the roots, and I'm going to trim some of the roots. So now let us plant the small pot in our self-watering planter. So I'm just keeping this roots like this. I'm going to add the potting mix. So place the plant in the center so that it looks beautiful. So I'm just going to remove this from the cube. So now I'm adding some potting mix. So in this planter, one benefit is we can see the roots growing since the planter is transparent. And just center our plant in the center. And add the potting mix. So just press the potting mix in order to remove the air pockets around our plant. So now you can add some water for the first time. So after that you don't need to add water in the top since it is a self-watering planter. So now I'm going to add some water in this cube and fix our self-watering planter. So now our Anthurium plant planted in the self-watering cube is ready. Now let us go to our next plant. So in this plant also I like to trim some roots. So I'll just trim most of the roots since I'm going to keep this in my Aquaponics aquarium. So if you trim the roots, what will happen is it will stimulate development of new roots, which will in turn stimulate growth of our plants. So I'm just trimming. So I think this is enough. Now I'm just going to wash this plant in water in order to remove the potting soil. So come, let us wash it in water. So now I'm just going to wash all the potting soil from our plant. So in order to plant this in the Aquaponics planter. So try to wash all the potting soil and use warm water. Don't use cold water or hot water. So the water is warm. In this I cannot use potting mix in the Aquaponics planter because it may affect my fish which is in the aquarium. So I have to remove all the potting mix. Yeah, so I have almost washed all the potting soil from my plant. So I think this is enough. So now we can plant this plant in our Aquaponics aquarium. So in the Aquaponics aquarium, I'm just going to plant the Anthurium in the middle of our pothos plant. So I have already planted some pothos. If you see, it's nothing but these pothos are some rooted pothos of my parent plant. So I have already rooted it and planted in the Aquaponics aquarium. So if you see, these are all the rooted pothos. So now I'm going to plant the Anthurium in this Aquaponics planter. Just remove the clay pebbles and keep the rows over here. So I have planted my Anthurium plant in the Aquaponics planter. So now I'm just going to arrange all my pothos surrounding the Anthurium. So just remove some of the pebbles. So now I have planted my Anthurium plant intermingled with my pothos, and it really looks cool. And let me show you how my Anthurium and pothos do in the future coming days, and I'll update you how it really progresses in my aquarium plant. So now two new Anthurium plants propagated from a single plant is ready in a self-watering container and also in an aquaponics planter intermingled with the pothos plant. Let me show you how it works in the further coming videos. Hope you guys like this video. Have a nice day. Thank you.